night, where we are. We're returning after the weekend of busyness, collections, programs. So we're continuing Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anchilila, chapter 18. We're in Jagannath Puri, and the Lord is, the chapter's called Rescuing the Lord from the Sea. So the devotees were looking for him. They found him they didn't find him in the net yet. Yeah, they found him in the net. A fisherman was walking, chanting the holy names. They're like, what happened? You're chanting. He said, I don't know, but I saved something from the sea, and I touched the body, and now I can't stop chanting. So we're somewhere like that. Right. Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. So this is the Lord's meditation. Lord Krishna was in the water of the Jamuna in the company of the gopis, headed by Srimati Radharani. They were performing pastimes in a great sporting manner. I saw this pastime as I stood on the bank of the Jamuna in the company of the gopis. One gopi was showing some other gopis the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in the water. All the gopis entrusted their silken garments and ornaments to the care of their friends, and then put on fine white cloth. Taking his beloved gopis with him, Lord Krishna bathed and performed very nice pastimes in the water of the Jamuna. My dear friends, just see the Lord's sporting pastimes in the water. Krishna's restless palms resemble lotus flowers. He's just like a chief of mad elephants, and the gopis who accompany him are like the she-elephants. The sporting pastimes in the water began, and everyone started splashing water back and forth. In the tumultuous showers of water, no one could be certain which party was winning and which was losing. This sporting water fight increased unlimitedly. The gopis are like steady streaks of lightning, and Krishna resembled a blackish cloud. The lightning began sprinkling water upon the cloud, and the cloud upon the lightning. Like thirsty chatak birds, the eyes of the gopis joyously drank the nectarine water from the cloud. As the fight began, they splashed water on one another. Then they fought hand to hand, then face to face, then chest to chest, teeth to teeth, and finally nail to nail. Thousands of hands splashed water, and the gopis saw Krishna with thousands of eyes. With thousands of legs they came near him and kissed him with thousands of faces. Thousands of bodies embraced him. The gopis heard his joking words with thousands of ears. Krishna forcibly swept Radharani away and took her into the water up to her neck. Then he released her where the water was very deep. She grasped Krishna's neck, however, and floated in the water like a lotus flower plucked by the trunk of an elephant. Krishna expanded himself into as many forms as there are gopis, and then took away all the garments that covered them. The water of the river Jamuna was crystal clear, and Krishna saw the glittering bodies of the gopis in great happiness. The lotus stems were friends of the gopis, and therefore helped them by offering them lotus flowers. The lotuses pushed their large round leaves over the surface of the water with their hands, the waves of the Jamuna, to cover the gopis' bodies. Some gopis undid their hair and kept it in front of them as dresses to cover the lower portions of their bodies. Then Krishna quarreled with Radharani, and all the gopis hid themselves in a cluster of white lotus flowers. They submerged their bodies up to their necks in water. Only their faces floated above the surface, and their faces were indistinguishable from the lotuses. In the absence of the other gopis, Lord Krishna behaved with Srimati Radharani as freely as he desired. When the gopis began searching for Krishna, Srimati Radharani, being of very fine intelligence and thus knowing the situation among her friends, immediately mingled in their midst. Many white lotus flowers were floating in the water, and as many bluish lotus flowers came nearby. As they came close together, the white and the blue lotuses collided and began fighting with one another. The gopis on the bank of the Jamuna watched with great amusement. The hands of the gopis, which resembled red lotus flowers, arose from the water in pairs to obstruct the bluish flowers. The bluish lotuses tried to plunder the white Chakravaka birds, and the red lotuses tried to protect them. Thus, there was a fight between the two. Blue and red lotus flowers were unconscious objects, whereas Chakravakas are conscious and alive. Nonetheless, in ecstatic love, the blue lotuses began to taste the Chakravakas. This is a reversal of their natural behavior, but in Lord Krishna's kingdom, such reversals are a principle of his pastimes. Little purport there. Generally, the Chakravaka bird tastes the lotus flower, but in Krishna's pastime, the lotus, which is usually lifeless, tastes the Chakravaka bird. The blue lotuses are friends of the sun god, and though they all live together, the blue lotuses plunder the Chakravakas. The red lotuses, however, blossom at night and are therefore stranger or enemies to the Chakravakas. Yet, in Krishna's pastimes, the red lotuses, which are the hands of the gopis, protect the birds. This is a metaphor of contradiction. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, in his pastimes, Krishna displayed the two ornaments of hyperbole and reverse analogy. Tasting them brought gladness to my mind and fully satisfied my ears and eyes. After performing such wonderful pastimes, Lord Sri Krishna got up on the shore of the Jamuna river, taking with him all his beloved gopis. Then the gopis on the riverbank rendered service by massaging Krishna, and the other gopis with scented oil and smearing paste of amalaka fruit on their bodies. They all bathed again, and after putting on dry clothing, they went to a small jeweled house where the gopi Vrinda arranged to dress them in forest clothing by decorating them with fragrant flowers, green leaves, and all kinds of other ornaments. In Vrindavan, the trees and creepers are wonderful because throughout the entire year they produce all kinds of fruits and flowers. The gopis and the maidservants in the bowers of Vrindavan pick these fruits and flowers and bring them before Radha and Krishna. The gopis peeled all the fruits and placed them together on large plates on a platform in the jeweled cottage. They arranged the fruit in orderly rows for eating, and in front of it they made a place to sit. Among the fruits were many varieties of coconut and mango, bananas, berries, jackfruits, dates, tangerines, oranges, blackberries, santaras, grapes, almonds, and all kinds of dried fruit. There were cantaloupes, kirishkas, palm fruits, keshuras, water fruits, lotus fruits, bell, pilu, pomegranate, and many others. Some of them are variously known in different places, but in Vrindavan they are always available in so many thousands of varieties that no one can fully describe them. At home, Srimati Radharani made various types of sweetmeats from milk and sugar, such as Ganga Jala, Amrita Kelly, Piyusha Granthi, Karpura Kelly, Sarapuri, Amrita, Padmachini, and Kanda Kishore Shara Raksha. She then bought them all for Krishna. When Krishna saw the very nice arrangement of food, he happily sat down and had a forest picnic. Then, after Srimati Radharani and her gopi friends partook of the remnants, they all lay down in the jeweled house. Some of the gopis fanned Radha and Krishna, others massaged their feet, and some fed them betel leaves to chew. When Radha and Krishna fell asleep, all the other gopis also lay down. When I saw this, my mind was very happy. Suddenly, all of you created a great tumult and picked me up and brought me back here. Now where is the river Jamuna? Where is Vrindavan? Where are Krishna and the gopis? You have broken my happy dream. So that was the Lord's meditation when he was in his ecstatic meditational form in the ocean. Speaking this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully returned to external consciousness. Seeing Swarup Damodar Goswami, the Lord questioned him. Why have you brought me here? He asked. Then Swarup Damodar answered him. You mistook the sea for the river Jamuna, he said, and you jumped into it. You have been carried this far by the waves of the sea. This fisherman caught you in his net and rescued you from the sea. Because of your touch, he is now mad with ecstatic love for Krishna. Throughout the night, we all walked in search of you. After hearing from this fisherman, he came here and found you. While apparently unconscious, you witnessed the pastimes in Vrindavan. But when we saw you unconscious, we suffered great agony in our minds. When we chanted the holy name of Krishna, however, you came to semi-consciousness, and we have all been hearing you speak like a madman. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, in my dream I went to Vrindavan where I saw Lord Krishna performing the rasa dance with all the gopis. After sporting in the water, Krishna enjoyed a picnic. I can understand that after seeing this, I must certainly have talked like a madman. Thereafter, Swarup Damodar Goswami had Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in the sea, and then he very happily brought him back home. Thus I have described the incident of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu falling into the ocean. Anyone who listens to this pastime will certainly attain shelter in the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. We've got one chapter to read that we didn't read on Friday, Raghunath Das Goswami. I think it's actually quite long, so we're going to read that now. Yes. So Friday was the holy day, very special Krishna Vasant Panchami, and we had read already the pastimes of Vishnupriya Devi and Pundarik Vijayanidhi, because it was their appearance days. So it also was the appearance day of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. So we hadn't read it, so I'd like to read it now. Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 2, by Srila Sridhar Maharaj. The appearance of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Then the fourth personality is Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. He was born nearly 500 years ago in Krishnapur village, Hooghly district. He came in the Kayastha caste. His father, Hiranya Majumdar, was a very rich man. His father had one brother, Govardhan, but Raghunath was the only child. His father and uncle were state land owners. At that time they collected 20 lakhs rupees in taxes. 12 lakhs was to be paid to the king, and their net income was 8 lakhs. Raghunath heard about Mahaprabhu after his sannyas. Hiranya and Govardhan had association with Advaita Acharya, and they used to make an annual contribution to all the superior Sanskrit scholars and their schools in Bengal of the time. When Mahaprabhu went back to Sri Advaita Acharya's house, Advaita Bhavan, after his sannyas, Raghunath Das came and saw him and became mad with love of Krishna. His heart was completely melted by Mahaprabhu's beauty and charming personality, his devotion and his teachings of devotion for Krishna. Mahaprabhu himself was also aware of this. Raghunath would not leave Mahaprabhu, but the Lord told him, "Go home, don't be over-enthusiastic. Control yourself. Keep your divine love for Krishna within your heart and don't express it outwardly. Don't advertise it. Very soon the time will come when Krishna will guide you. He will make a way for you. Don't allow any external show, but keep it within your heart." There's a little verse here. Compose yourself and go home. Don't be a madman. One reaches the shore of the material ocean gradually. Then later he came into the association of Nityanandaprabhu in Panihati. Nityanandaprabhu said to him, "Give a feast here for my followers. You're the son of a rich man, so manage to give a feast here for my followers." Raghunath did so, and Nityanandaprabhu was very satisfied. He also blessed him, saying, "Very soon your bright day will come." And he addressed his devotees. "See this young boy? He has immense wealth. In abundance he has everything required for a young man's enjoyment, but he does not care for it. Krishna's grace has come down into his heart, so he does not care for anything of this world. But he is mad to leave his home of material grandeur and become a street beggar. He has become mad for Krishna. Just see this high ideal. Devotion, attraction. Love of Krishna has made him mad. He is very, very fortunate. This royal dignity and prosperity cannot please him." Anyway, he returned home, but one day Hiranya and others noticed that he no longer entered the inner section of the house. He began to stay in the outer section only. His father and other guardians thought that his condition had become very grave, so 10 men were engaged to keep guard that he may not leave. One day in the early morning before sunrise, the family guru, Yadunandan Acharya, suddenly entered the house. Finding Raghunath in the outer section of the house, he met him and requested him, "I'm going out for some important business, but there is no one to worship my deity. So please ask one Brahmin disciple in my name to serve the deity for a day or two during my absence." As Yadunandan Acharya left, Raghunath went with him. The guards saw him going with the family guru, so they did not interfere. On the way, Raghunath requested the guru, "You may go ahead with your business, and I will request the gentleman to do the worship in your absence." The guru left. Raghunath took advantage of the situation. Perhaps he requested the man to do the service, but he started off in the direction away from Puri. He knew that as soon as they realized at the home that he wasn't returning, they would send men to search for him on the way to Puri. So for the whole day he walked in the opposite direction. In the evening he stopped at a cowherdsman's house, took a little milk from him and passed the night in the cowshed. Then in the morning he started for Puri's. When his guardian found that Raghunath had not returned home, they heard from the guards that he had gone with the family guru. They went to the guru's house, but Raghunath was not to be found. Then they thought that he must have left for Puri, and they sent 10 men to that side. They returned without finding him. In this way, Raghunath cleverly managed to escape. For 12 days he walked to Puri, taking food here and there, only for three of those days. On the other days, no food was necessary. He was helped by divine love, surcharged. He had already heard that Mahaprabhu was at the Gambhira and Kasi Mishra Bhavan, the Kashi Mishra Bhavan. He went there and in the courtyard fell flat in obeisance unto Mahaprabhu. Mukunda Datta announced to the Lord, "Raghunath has come." Mahaprabhu said, "Yes, look after him. He has come with great difficulty, walking without food. Take care of him for a few days, then he will manage for himself." That was the direction of Mahaprabhu. For a few days, Raghunath took prasadam there. After that, he began to beg at the gate of Jagannath temple. The parents now thought it was impossible to bring him back, and they didn't make any further attempt. But they sent some money with one Brahmin and 2 servants, instructing them to hire a house and offer Raghunath a place to stay and see that their son may not die without food. They tried their best, but Raghunath continued to subsist on alms. Over a period of 2 years, Raghunath invited Mahaprabhu to take prasadam at that house, and the Lord did so for his satisfaction. After that, Raghunath left that idea, thinking, "This is only to produce some name and fame for me. Mahaprabhu is not pleased with such prasadam." Swarup Damodar was the dearmost attendant of Mahaprabhu and was a very good scholar as well. Raghunath was also a scholar. We find that later he left the world beautiful poetry in Sanskrit. Mahaprabhu gave Raghunath over to the charge of Swarup Damodar, saying, I request Swarup Damodar to take your charge, and he will advise you what will be necessary for your devotional life. But suddenly one day Raghunath approached Mahaprabhu. Why have you managed to take me out of my house, and what is my best benefit? If you please tell me in your own words, my heart will be satisfied. Mahaprabhu said, I have given you over to the charge of Swarup Damodar. He is more qualified than even myself. Still, if you want to hear something directly from me, then I say in brief. Don't indulge in worldly talk. Don't hear worldly talk. Try your best to avoid mundane matters. Don't eat delicious foods, but take whatever ordinary food may come of its own accord. And don't dress luxuriously. Always try to take the name of Krishna with the attitude of giving respect to others without expecting it from anyone. Be humble, but never aspire after respectful dealings from others. In this way, try to take the name of Krishna constantly. And within, try to serve Sri Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Mentally be in Vrindavan, rendering service to Sri Radha Krishna Leela. Mahaprabhu told Raghunath that this was the essence of his advice to him. Then he again took Raghunath's hand and offered it to the hand of Swarup Damodar, saying, I give you to the charge of Swarup Damodar. He is the best spiritual teacher. He will take care of you. After Raghunath's arrival in Puri, Mahaprabhu stayed there continuously for 16 years. After that, Mahaprabhu departed from the world. Raghunath left Puri and went to Vrindavan, thinking, I have what is to be had. Now I only want to see Vrindavan Dham once, and then I shall leave this body jumping from the highest peak of Govardhan. With this idea, he went to Vrindavan, but there he came into contact with Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. He found the beginning of a new life. He thought, what is this? Mahaprabhu is not departed. He is living in them. Mahaprabhu delegated Rupa and Sanatana with the power to preserve the devotional current they had received from him and to present it in a new light. They were asked to prove by drawing upon different scriptures that Mahaprabhu's teachings are the very gist and purpose of all the scriptures. And as in the Bhagavad Gita, the attempt of every revealed scripture is to show me as the highest center. I am the Absolute. So Mahaprabhu said, Krishna is the Absolute. With the help of the different scriptures and historical references, by all means possible, try to prove that Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that Vraja Leela, Vrindavan Leela, is the highest achievement. The two brothers had already begun that work when Raghunath came into their association, and he found, Oh, Mahaprabhu is here. He abandoned the idea of leaving this world and joined Rupa and Sanatana as their disciple. Mahaprabhu had already ordered Sanatana Goswami, My followers are very poor and helpless. You'll have to look after them whenever they come to Vrindavan. You'll have to be the caretaker of all my disciples that come to Vrindavan. So Raghunath came to Sanatana Goswami, and Sanatana took care of him. Raghunath was so self-forgetful that one day he was sitting on the banks of the river of Radha Kund and taking the name. A tiger came just beside him to drink water, but Raghunath paid no attention. Suddenly Sanatana Goswami came upon the scene. He was astonished. Up until then, Raghunath had lived under the shade of a tree, but Sanatana said, Please construct a hut to live in. Don't disregard my respect. I entreat you to do this. Then from that time he managed to construct a small dwelling and stay there. His abnegation, vairagya, was incomparable. Sanatana, Rupa and all the Goswamis' indifference to the world enjoyment was extreme, but Raghunath's abnegation surpassed all. When he was in Puri, sometimes he would beg prasadam at the gate of Jagannath temple, and sometimes he would take prasadam at a chatram or free kitchen where rice men distributed prasadam for beggars. But then he thought, I'm taking what is due to others. The unsold Jagannath Prasadam is given to the cows of Jagannath Puri, but when it becomes so stale that it emits a bad odour, even the cows cannot eat it. So now Raghunath would wash that prasadam with sufficient water, and adding a little salt, he would eat that. Sorry, my leg is very uncomfortable. Mahaprabhu heard about this, and one day when Raghunath was taking that prasadam, Mahaprabhu approached and suddenly took and ate some. He said, "Oh, I have tasted many times the prasadam of Jagannath, but such sweet prasadam I have never taken anywhere." So what is the taste in prasad? It is not mundane. Raghunath had such intense faith in prasadam that he lived on apparently rotten things with a little salt, and he was the son of a family of kingly opulence. So much indifference was in him, and in his last days in Vrindavan, he would pass each day taking a pot of gol, buttermilk. This is not possible for a man of flesh and blood. Great souls like Goswamis are really personalities coming down from the other world, and so it was possible for them to show the ideal of abnegation. It is not possible for ordinary humans of flesh and blood to observe such a degree of abnegation without dying, but the Goswamis created the standard and ideal by such vairagya. At the same time, Raghunath studied Rupa Goswami's presentation of the highest type of rasa or devotional sentiment, Madhurya rasa. I have to stop, I'm feeling very dizzy. We'll continue tomorrow. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chanda. Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha. Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhana. Jai Hote Vignana Sabisa Purana. Jai Gosai Yamuitana Dasa. Tansabada Padarena Mura Panchagrasa. Andiracharani Sebe Paksasani Basa. Janame Mo Ariya Bilasa. Jai Gosai Abre Braja Kolebasa. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korela Prakasa. Anande Baro Hari Bhaja Vrindavana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majadiyamana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyasa. Harinam Sankirtan Kore Sri Guru Gohanga Sunda Radhagiri Hari Ki Jai. Jai Vishpa Paramahamsa Varajavasta Satsima Bhakti Sunda Govinda Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishpa Paramahamsa Varajavasta Satsima Bhakti Sunda Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Matmacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Sri Haridasta Go Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. All the world devotees Ki Jai. Jai Gaura Premanandi.